Then Dr. Yi, do doctors make mistakes?
A lot of people have this idea that doctors are infallible, that we go to medical school so we can know everything about the human body. They have this idea that doctors don't make mistakes. Well, I'm really sorry to break it to you, but doctors, we do make mistakes. In fact, medical errors are far more common than a lot of people might think. Johns Hopkins did a study and they found that medical errors could cause about 250,000 deaths in the USA each year. This would put it as the third most common cause of death. Number one being heart disease, number two being cancer, and then number three being medical error. So yes, doctors, they aren't gods. We do make mistakes as well. So let's take a look at some of the more common medical errors. One of the more common medical errors is medication errors. There's about 1.3 million medication errors annually in the USA. That's about 1 in 5 people. About 5% of hospitalized patients in the USA will have mistakes in their medication. And they suggest that this can lead to as many as 180,000 deaths each year. All right, that's a horrifying number. And another common medical error is infection in hospitals. For example, an infection in a hospital is much more serious than an infection you might catch out in the community. Because in a hospital, it's a perfect breeding ground for growing the superbugs, the super bacteria, because there's a lot of antibiotics going around, there's a lot of different medications going around, and it's natural selection, so only the strong bacteria survive in a hospital. So infections you pick up in a hospital are usually far more serious. So there's something that a lot of doctors are really paranoid about preventing. But even so, about 5 to 10% of hospitalized patients in the USA will come down with an infection that originated in the hospital. That's about 1.7 million people affected each year, and it causes an estimated 99,000 deaths per year, which means that for all of these people, they might still be alive if they didn't go to the hospital to begin with. Another thing that's also really common is misdiagnosis. Now, doctors, we try our best to accurately diagnose someone, but it's really tough because there is no one magical test that we can run on a patient that will tell us everything that we know. You need to have a suspicion first. And once you have that suspicion, then you need to know what are the tests that I can run to confirm my suspicion, and what are the tests that would be appropriate, what are the tests that wouldn't really show anything and might just send me down the completely inaccurate path. Now, misdiagnosis affects about 12 million people in America every year, and the rates are about 10 to 20%. Now, according to the Journal of Clinical Oncology, when it comes to something like cancer, the thing that people really don't want doctors to misdiagnose, it can be missed up to 44% of the time. So that is something that is really not good. So if you're thinking about all of this, even just during these times, for example, last year, some deaths were probably misdiagnosed as the common flu because they just didn't pay enough attention to this. It might have been COVID-19 causing all of these deaths that has been misdiagnosed as a common flu because it's very similar. Right? So people, they look at this, they look at these symptoms, and they go right to flu, and they just stop there. They don't look any further. So, well, now with hindsight, we can tell, but at that moment in time, they were doing their very best, and it was still misdiagnosed as the flu. So from all of this, you can know that when it comes to doctors, you can't just blindly hand over your health to them. each of us, we all need to take responsibility for our own health. We all have to have this drive to educate ourselves about these health issues, because we can't just go to the doctor, have no thoughts of our own whatsoever, and just be like, doctor, do whatever, take whatever test, do whatever you want to me. You can't do that. Because in the end, you are the one who has to live with the consequences. You are the one who has to live with the body that you're born with. So each of us, we have to take the steps to take care of our body in the best way that we can. For example, sometimes, you go to the doctor, you're feeling not so well. The doctor runs some tests, they can't find anything wrong with you. And a lot of people, they might feel like, oh, does that mean that it's me? You know what? I'm here to tell you that maybe it's the doctor, right? Even the person in the medical school who gets the lowest grades, barely passes any tests, they're called doctor too. All right, so sometimes it can be the doctor. Other times it's just the limit of what modern medicine can do. There's a lot of diseases which can lie in wait. There's a lot of diseases that they have a period of time where they don't show up on any test. It's called a window period. For example, hepatitis B has a window period, which means that although someone is infected, our modern tests don't detect it for a period of time. Or chickenpox has an incubation period of 1 to 3 weeks, meaning that there's 1 to 3 weeks between the point you're infected to the point you realize you've been infected. Even worse, you can spread the disease to other people before you even realize. So your strongest and your best companion is your immune system. Your immune system is your only 100% reliable method for fighting off diseases. Why do some people die from infections and others don't? The difference lies in their immune system. We need to take care of our immune system on a daily basis by eating more plant foods rich in antioxidants, phytochemicals, and polysaccharides, and not just when we're sick. A variety of vegetables, fruits, mushrooms, all of these foods, instead of unhealthy foods like red meat, can help the functioning of the immune system and help prevent diseases. So for all of this, we need to take our own steps as well. We need to take care of ourselves, and we can't rely entirely on other people.